Hello, Lenawee County. My name is Brian Vish, and here's what's happening this week in Lenawee.
Accurate, dependable, and late-breaking. This is local and state news on WLEN, Lenawee's local news station.
With Memorial Day approaching, the Tecumseh City Council has approved plans for this year's Memorial Day Parade, with organizers now preparing for the annual event honoring fallen service members. Mayor Brian Radant said planning is already underway by the Memorial Day Committee, which includes local volunteers working to build on last year's event. Radant says the goal is to match last year's turnout and continue honoring veterans.
Well, that is just the beginning in the works right now. Dan Meikle and Gary Nagel are in charge of that group, along with a lot of other city residents to help make up the Memorial Day Committee. They're aiming to make it as good as it was last year. I always hear from all the residents that is one of the parades that they absolutely love. I think we do a really good job of honoring those veterans that made the ultimate sacrifice.
Radant said the event remains an important tradition for the community, especially with strong local ties to military service.
There's a lot of servicemen in Lenawee. There's a lot of servicemen in Tecumseh. There's a lot of high school kids that are going into the service. So that's one thing that the city of Tecumseh has always done a great job of honoring those veterans that made that decision to go in the military. It's just something that I think Tecumseh does a really good job of.
The parade and ceremony are scheduled for Memorial Day, May 25th, with the procession through downtown, followed by a service at Brookside Cemetery. The Kiwanis Club of Tecumseh is inviting the community to the 5th annual Kiwanis Canoe Race on Saturday, June 6th. Organizers say the family-friendly event will bring together racers, volunteers, sponsors, and spectators for a day on the water, with proceeds supporting programs that benefit children in the local community. Kiwanis says fundraising from the canoe race and other efforts help provide youth scholarships, donations to local nonprofits, and support for school backpack programs. Sponsorship opportunities are also available for businesses and community supporters interested in backing the event. More information, including registration details, are available through the Kiwanis Club of Tecumseh. The Adrian Rae Literacy Center is preparing for its first major fundraiser as it continues expanding services for adults across Lenawee County. Executive Director Rae Literacy spoke with Dale Gartner on Community Conversation, which airs at 6:15 p.m. on WLEN, and says the need for literacy support remains significant.
Lenawee County, 17% of adults have low literacy, which is pretty similar to the state average, but that's a lot of people. And so we can meet you where you're at. We can help you with whatever your goals are. As an example, one of the people, you'll hear her story at the event, but her name is Susan, and she's from here, from Adrian area growing up. And she had dyslexia, and she didn't really get diagnosed with that in school, always had a hard time, and got diagnosed later in life. She's a CNA. She's a great CNA. She does wonderful work, but she was making some mistakes, transposing letters and numbers, which obviously is important in that field. So when she came to us, she kind of said, I was told I have dyslexia, and I don't really know if I'm going to be able to get much better, but I really want to be able to at least do my job well. And so she's been coming weekly for many years.
That was Rae Literacy. The center will host an adult spelling bee fundraiser April 16th at the Adrian Armory to support those services. The city of Adrian is taking a back-to-basics approach as it works through its upcoming budget. During a special meeting Monday night, city officials outlined a plan focused on maintaining core services, including police, fire, streets, and utilities, while avoiding new spending commitments. As part of that strategy, the city is recommending leaving certain positions unfilled for now, including roles in marketing and parks and recreation. Leaders say those positions are valuable, but not essential compared to public safety and day-to-day operations. The proposed budget is described as disciplined and sustainable, aimed at protecting current service levels while managing rising costs and avoiding long-term financial strain. City commissioners will continue reviewing the budget in the coming weeks. At that same meeting this week, city officials said long-term tax rollbacks are continuing to limit available revenue, contributing to current budget pressures. During a recent budget work session, officials noted that the city's operating millage has dropped from 15 mills to approximately 13.5 mills over time. The reduction is tied to Michigan's Headley Amendment, which requires local governments to roll back millages rates when property values grow faster than inflation. The rollback is estimated to reduce the city's revenue by roughly $600,000 to $700,000 annually. City leaders say restoring that funding level would require a Headley override, which must be approved by voters. Previous attempts to pass an override has not been successful. Officials say the ongoing reduction in revenue is a key factor behind the city's focus on maintaining core services while limiting new spending. The Historical Society of Clinton took a closer look at a key piece of Great Depression history. A program Tuesday night focused on the Civilian Conservation Corps, a New Deal initiative that put millions of young men to work across the country during the 1930s. The presentation was led by local historian Mark Jenkins.
I don't think the CCC it's known as a program, but I don't think it's known at Walter J. Hayes State Park. So that, and then also the information about why Walter J. Hayes Park is named that. I think a lot of people, even though you can live in this area for a long time, you may not know that that's why it is.
The presentation was led by local historian Mark Jenkins and highlighted the role those workers played here locally, including at Hayes State Park, where a CCC camp operated in the early years of the program.
You go there now and you see all those beautiful trees and you see the beautiful beach, and even though the buildings aren't there anymore, you use the facilities that these guys were a large part in putting together, because when it became a larger park, it was 1930, and there just wasn't a lot of money to put into parks. People were just having trouble making ends meet. So the CCC came along at a perfect time for them.
The CCC helped build and improve parks, infrastructure, and conservation projects, many of which are still in use today.
History is just a lot of stories, and so many of these stories we just don't know or have not been told. And so I think it's important to seek them out, to share them with people, just because they're interesting and they also explain why things are the way they are today.
Lenawee County Commissioners approved joining another national opioid settlement during their meeting Thursday night. The board voted to opt into a settlement with 6 pharmaceutical distributors, part of ongoing litigation tied to the opioid crisis. Commissioner Kevin Martis spoke about the settlement during the meeting.
The first round of money is about $1.5 million. We expect many millions more over the years. To that end, we put together a request for proposals for various the rules on how we could invest this money. There's limits in certain areas that were allowed by virtue of the settlement terms.
Under the agreement, Lenawee County is expected to receive just over $24,000. County documents showed the funding comes from a broader nationwide settlement totaling nearly $98 million, with money required to be used for opioid abatement efforts.
We spent the better part of a year hearing each of those presenters come into this chamber and share their proposals. Ms. Zisk, our community development director, did an outstanding job wading through all the details and the minutia and assembling this package for us.
This marked the latest in a series of opioid-related settlements the county has joined as officials continue addressing addiction and recovery needs locally.
$1.5 million is a lot, but the need is big. We don't expect to have hit everything perfectly the first time, but we did narrow it down to 9 proposals. A high percentage of that will go to entities within the county and providers that were already working here. And we will be bringing a proposal to Ways and Means next month, and to hopefully move forward with getting to the contract signing phase with this.
That was Commissioner Kevin Martis.
Palmyra Township is moving forward with a new fire station project aimed at improving response times, safety, and day-to-day operations for the department. Township Supervisor Dave Pixley and Fire Chief Paul Rowell said the township has been working for several years to relocate the department's second station to the former school property in Palmyra.
We discussed trying to update the one that we had currently, and one of the things that, and it took me over 2 years through MDOT to discuss putting a traffic light in. It's a safety traffic light that would stop traffic on US 223 and allow the traffic to flow off from Palmyra Road, or excuse me, off of Main Street, allow traffic to clear out to get people in and out of the station. The timeline was looking to be another 2 to 3 years before we could even accomplish that.
Officials said the current station has tight space, difficult access onto US 223 and Main Street, and limited room for larger equipment.
One thing I did that is kind of in the realm of what we're supposed to do is I've asked the fire department and chief and the assistant chief especially to come up with their own budget. They get to see where the money comes from, how it's spent, and be able to ask for things that are a definite need, but yet being able to save for the future. One of the things they said right along was, we need to replace our ambulance. We need it bad. But we need a place to put it first.
We do a lot of in-house, but we do go off-site to do some of our training. I mean, most of the off-site training is like live burn scenarios, or we can train with our neighboring fire departments. They'll put on a training and invite us down, or we can do the same for them. And this will open up with all of our area out back with like Dave said, the 5 acres.
Yeah.
That'll give us a little more area to where we can hold some different and bigger trainings and get some more people involved in our community where we can work with our neighboring departments, and it'll sure help.
The new site gives the department more room for trucks, training, and storage, while avoiding the costs of a traffic signal that was considered at the current location.
One of the things that made this more affordable for us is we don't have to add any offices or anything in the fire department building, because we have 3 spare offices in this building that, with a little bit of paint and a little bit of touch up here and there, we're all set. So the chief, fire chief have their own office, our captains have their own office. We have a small room for the firefighters to meet. Yeah. And then we also have a bigger room at the other end of the building that we can use for training. Soon we're going to be putting that other building and that other property up for sale. Yeah. To help fund what we need to accomplish here.
The project also gives access to on-site water.
What is most important with the fire department?
Water.
We don't have water at the fire station we have now. We have water here. And we are able to, we have a huge well here. We have pumped the well with the equipment we've got. The trucks pump 1,500 gallons a minute each truck. We hooked both trucks up at the same time to the well, and we videoed it. We were only able to pump water down a foot in our well. So we have plenty of supply. We're able, and they just delivered the equipment yesterday to put the new well, or put the new water lines and stuff into the station. So we'll have a 2-inch main line right into our fire station. We're able to fill trucks. We can use it for training. We're gonna put in they call it a dry hydrant.
Yeah, dry hydrant where we can fill the truck right from the
Fill
pump.
right at the well site. So, you know, that's another big plus too. If we have a fire right here in the village, rather than drive all the way to Adrian or all the way to Blissfield to get water, we have some water right here on site now.
So much nicer for everyone, even the public. You know, it's a public building, and then, you know, if we need people that wanted to come in here and see it, they don't have to park in our way. There's numerous spots they can park. Yeah, and it's going to be better for everybody.
Township officials said they hope the new facility also helps morale and recruitment as work continues.
It's going to cut down on the response time. It's going to cut down on maintenance, because we'll have a building that the vehicles can fit into.
I'm Dallas Behringer with 103.9 WLEN, Lenawee's local news station.
Lenawee County Commissioners approved a series of board appointments and reappointments during their meeting on Thursday night. Commission Chair Jim Van Dorn discussed the appointments during the meeting.
We are reinstituting the Human Services Standing Committee. We have a number of organizations that are not reporting in that a lot of the constituents in Lenawee County, people in Lenawee County have asked for more reporting on. So we're going to reinstitute the Human Services Committee.
During the meeting, the board confirmed David Ungst to Department of Aging, Travis Bates as a general public representative on the 911 District Board, and Beth Blanco to the Land Bank Authority. Commissioners also confirmed membership on the Human Services Standing Committee, including Terry Collins, Kevin Martis, and Beth Blanco.
Because Terry, as he said, he's not going anywhere, as you could see by the number of readings that he had tonight. We moved some people into some of the committees that he was doing to give him a little more time to himself.
That was the Lenawee County Board of Commissioners Chair, Jim Van Dorn. The appointments were part of a routine process to fill positions and maintain oversight across several county boards that handle services ranging from emergency response to senior programs and property redevelopment. The Tecumseh Center for the Arts continues to serve as a cornerstone of culture and entertainment in downtown Tecumseh, bringing in a steady lineup of performances while also looking at ways to improve the overall experience for audiences. I went down to the Tecumseh Center of the Arts and spoke with Executive Director Amy Sloop.
The theater was gifted to the city of Tecumseh in 1981, so we are just celebrating 45 years in the community. We have a beautiful stage for performance, but we also have our music park that is just outside the theater as you head toward Bird Park. Beautiful for the community to use that. We have our sculpture garden, and of course we have our art trail featuring all sorts of beautiful artwork from local artists. As always, we are the home stage for homegrown talent. So we're making sure that the space is ready and available for all of the wonderful local artists and arts organizations that call the TCA home. And we host our national touring season. So from October through April, there is a nationally touring artist who appears here every month, and fantastic things are always going on. So we want to make sure that the talent that we're bringing in is high quality, that it's enriching to people's lives. We want to be improving the quality of life for everyone in Tecumseh.
Officials say while there may not be a single large-scale renovation project underway, the focus remains on ongoing improvements and long-term planning for the facility.
Currently, our dressing rooms are being renovated, and we are so excited because the bathrooms especially were very tired and needed to be updated. Plumbing issues were happening, and so it was a necessary thing that had to be done. So that work is being done right now, and it will be completed, what is that, by April 2nd, I think, or 6th. April 6th is when we're supposed to be all finished with that. And then just a couple of weeks later, April 13th, we are having on-stage renovations done. So our rigging system needed to be updated to comply with OSHA safety standards. That's really important. We want to make sure that everyone who's on stage is safe and everything is functioning, proficiently. And so that is happening along with all new stage curtains that are going to be installed. What we have right now, they have served us well. They've done a beautiful duck job for many decades here, but there's a lot of damage on them at this point that's irreparable, and their fire retardancy is finished. And so these new curtains will also not only bring more beauty to the stage, but they'll bring safety as well. It was all possible because of our 50K challenge. There was an anonymous donor who came forward and gave us $50,000 to put up for a match. And the community the outpouring of support was phenomenal. We were so overwhelmed. I'm covered in goosebumps just thinking about it. I mean, to have someone who trusts you, right, and who recognizes the value of what the TCA is for the community, and then to have the community respond in a way that just confirms that relevance, that they feel it, they recognize it. It truly was just such a huge uplifting moment for all of the staff who are here. And I mean, it means that the entire community is benefiting from these improvements. We far exceeded that goal, and because of that, even electrical work has been able to be rolled into this project. So we have stage dimmers, dimmer racks backstage, and they are extremely old. And all of our lighting here is still incandescent. It's not LED yet. And so those dimmer racks are being upgraded, and they poise us for being able to now move into DMX lighting. So hopefully that's a next phase for us here.
Those improvements include both visible updates for guests and behind-the-scenes work aimed at maintaining the building and keeping it competitive as a regional performance venue.
It might be subtle for the audience because so much that's been done is safety, right, for the rigging. So being able to know that all of our rigging is supported in a way that makes sure that it's safe to be handling weight loads of scenery and things that are coming in and out. Even the fact that we're going to make sure that the lighting itself is safe and secure when it's in the air, right? So those aren't necessarily going to be visible things. That addition of that batten, that scenic batten, that could bring more pow to what they see when new scenic things are able to happen on stage. They could witness that. And I don't know if they'll notice a difference in the curtains. The damage that exists, we've done all that we can to mask it really well. I'm so proud of our staff for all of the effort that they put into that. So hopefully it's not going to be a jarring change, but it will look pretty.
Leaders at the center say the goal is to balance preserving the character of the space while adapting to modern expectations for comfort, accessibility, and performance quality.
These new curtains, they'll be in place for decades to come. We'll be able to. There are treatments now that are available for cleaning and for even redoing their fire retardancy. It can be done a number of times. So that poises us for a long future with these new curtains. So we're really grateful for that. One of the other shifts that's happening on stage is when our movie projection screen was installed, it was installed improperly by about 2 inches. And it meant that one of our scenic battens was rendered useless. And so we're shifting the placement of that projection screen. And what that's going to mean for everyone who uses scenery, TYT, anyone who's wanting to fly things in and out, they now have an expanded opportunity for their scenic design, for their production.
The center also plays a key role in the broader downtown environment, drawing visitors into Tecumseh for concerts, theater, and community events throughout the year. City officials continue to invest in surrounding infrastructure and public spaces, which indirectly supports the center by improving access and walkability.
We're already so valuable to the city. All of those arts organizations who I mentioned, they need this stage. And it's such an incredible blessing in Tecumseh to be able to offer this stage. Tecumseh players, they were doing performances in the Mill, in the Hayden Ford Mill. Yeah, there was a rec room that was there, and that's where they were performing. There were wonderful visionaries back in that time who recognized that there were artists who were doing wonderful and beautiful things, that the arts have so much value. They were recognizing those things, and in making this possible, it's what sustains us. We can't just be working all the time. We can't just be stuck in analytical boxes, right? There has to be the opportunity for us to connect with our humanity. And that's what the arts do. They allow us to explore our humanity and grow in it and express it. And we have to have those outlets. And so we want to be able to say, we are here now and for the extended, prolonged, unseen future that everyone will be able to have the joy of that experience in Tecumseh.
Looking ahead, leadership says the focus will remain on steady improvements, strong programming, and expanding the center's role as a hub for both the arts and the local community.
We do offer matinee Mondays for anyone who would like to come to a movie. Those are free, and it's primarily seniors who are coming to those. So they're coming and attending matinee Monday, the first Monday of every month here at the theater. We do have the music park that's outside for people to be able to be hands-on with music and experimenting and exploring music that way. And we already have the visual arts that are present out there. So, we would love to be able to offer, art exhibits within the theater. There are some limitations within our lobby yet at that time. We would love to be offering improv classes and opportunities. It would be great to have cabarets here. It would be fun to open up for, readings and for poetry nights and things like that. But it all requires space.
The Tecumseh Center for the Arts continues its current season with performances scheduled throughout the spring.
I would just encourage everyone to take advantage of the fact that we're here. We have so many loyal patrons who come and buy their season subscriptions, and they're here and they're supporting. But, it's because they understand that the reward that they get is so impactful. And I think there are a lot of people who don't fully understand the complete impact that an arts experience can have on their psychological wellness, on their actual physical health. When you have that experience, it's something that stays with you for your entire life. These are literally lifelong memories that you're making. And it's such an incredible, magical, and joyful experience. If anyone has not been, come. If you haven't been in a long time, come. Just see us. There's so much fun here. There's so much life here. You're more alive. You're more alive when you're experiencing a live performance.
And that'll wrap it up for us this week in Lenawee. I'm Brian Vish for WLEN, Lenawee's local news station.
Count on WLEN, Lenawee's local news station, to keep you informed with accurate and dependable information 24 hours a day.